Hey everybody, it's Melly. First round games are in full effect right now, and we'll be back tomorrow with a full rundown recap of all the matches that have happened and then the upcoming games going in to the weekend. But first, I want to take some time to answer. We've got a lot of questions coming in via text, email, phone, carrier pigeon, what have you. Wanted to run through some of those questions, give you a heads up on how this works. So, number one, first question that came to us is, where's Jeremy? Well, as you know, you guys have been following the tournament. Jeremy did the opening shows, but now that the tournament has started and he being contestant, he felt like it was, against his good ideals to be both a commentator and a participant. So he's recused himself from this until he loses, which quite honestly will probably be the second round, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Another family question here. Was Em upset by the snub? So I got in touch with Em before her daily nap and asked her if she was upset about the snub. She said, what snub? And I said, well, how do you feel about getting snubbed from Ace Madness? The bracket for Ace's friends. And she's like, I don't give a shit. Ace's friends? I can't stand Ace. I said, oh, sorry, my bad. It's the John Avril friends bracket. And she's like, oh, yeah, I should be in that bracket. I like John Avril. He's great. Like John Avril. Love John Avril. Can't stand Ace. And I said, well, I guess that's probably part of the problem because the big seeds in this are both Avril and Ace fans. So it must have been the cause for the snub. But for the record, she would have liked to have been in the tournament. I mean, no Kara Elam level snub, but snub nonetheless. So this one's not so much a question as a request that I've received several times is, when's Charlie Goodtimes going to report on the tournament? Well, Charlie's been missing for about a year, so we put the call out for him. I don't see him showing up. It's been a long time since he's been out, and really I don't think we want his opinion on this tournament anyways. He's a mess. Plus he spends way too much money. Can be kind of a jerk. He's loud. I mean, there's several of those guys in the tournament. We don't need one comment on it either, do we? No. And then lastly comes with my naming of my discussion of this tournament, Ace Madness. Why is it Ace Madness? It's really John Avril's brackets, but Avril Madness wasn't catchy. John Avril Madness. The bracket is already taken. The Friends bracket. I mean, Friends is a TV show. Is this the Friends bracket? I mean, what would that even look like? Well, it would look a lot like this. Elite Eight. I'm not going to bore you with the early rounds. We'll just get down to the nitty gritty. Final 8, Chandler v. Janice, Phoebe versus her brother, Frank Buffet, Rachel versus her secret admirer, and then not so secret, but it didn't work out for the poor guy, Gunther, and then the last bracket, Joey and Dr. Richard Burke. Now I know you're looking at this and you're thinking, where are Ross and Monica? Let's face it, the Geller kids suck, all right? Ross was a 3 seed, which was weak. The only reason he made it to the Sweet 16 was a cheap call by the refs, making his father lose to him. I mean, how do we not have instant replay in this point in time in the Friends bracket? Huh? Seriously. And then Monica, yeah, she's no good either. Some of the notable runs that were made by some lesser seeded players. Chandler's old roommate, Eddie, made a good run. Mr. Heckles was there all the way to the Sweet 16, thought he was going to make it to the Elite 8. And then, of course, Ugly Naked Guy, 1 shot away from making it to the Elite 8. Could have been a whole different tournament if any of those guys had moved on. But instead, we have these 8, Chandler v. Janice, Phoebe versus Frank Buffet, Rachel versus Gunther, Joey versus Richard Burke. How did it go? Well, here's how it went. Janice upset over Chandler. Really no upset, if you ask me. Same with Frank Buffet over his sister Phoebe. Frank was obviously the funnier and better character on that show. On the other side of the bracket, we've got chalk, Rachel and Joey coming through. And then into the final, who was it? Joey and Janice. Yes, unexpected final, of course. Amazing, amazing run. And who won this year? Well, oh my God. That's right, everybody. The champion was Janice. Hands down, the best character on Friends. Well, I bet that was a shocker to some of you. So one last question that we did have has come up since we brought out those other questions is, are we paying too much attention to this tournament? Are we giving Ace, aka John Avil, or vice versa, too much attention? Well, of course we are. What the hell else are we going to do? All right, we'll see you later. Go Cubs. F Cancer. See ya.